Hello, my name is Edward C. James. I'm a student at Dakota State University, and this is my final presentation lab portion for the hacking, the art of exploitation, and let's get started on it. The first lab, it's basically going to consist of a DNS lookup via a program, a file that has been that contains a program called hostlookup.c. Let's see what the file looks like real quick. See, I have it here on my into my labs, and the one I'm looking for, it's gonna be hostlookup.c. Open with Kate Wright. Basically, this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna do a host lookup. It's basically we're gonna look at a host, and it's gonna give us the IP address, and it is including the hacking.h file. That's why that one it's sitting right here as well. Let's go ahead and get started on it. So I'm gonna clear my screen. I was preparing for the labs earlier. So let's see. In this one, let's start with this process. And then we can, for example, yeah, then we can execute it. And for example, let's look at let's see, let's say yahoo.com. That's the IP address to Yahoo. And now let's look at do the same thing for the Dakota State University domain, and that's the IP address to the Dakota State University domain. It's that simple. Let's clear up. Now for the next lab, this is going to be a server tap identification via the web server ID.c, and this is what this one is going to look like. So I'm going to minimize, and it's going to be, I'm going to close this one, server ID. Oh, there it is. This is basically going to help us go as far as identifying what type of server they are using. This is what the program, which is also written in C, it looks like. Server list not found. If it doesn't identify it, it connects to the target, and the web server for this one, it tells us what type of server it is. And this it doesn't look up host name, specifies the socket, and this one includes the hacking.h file and the hacking network.h file as well. That's why I have these two right here. Let's see, I close it. I opened it again twice by accident, but let's go ahead and execute this one. And now we now we executed, like, to look at look at the one for Dakota State University and see what type of server they're running. They're running Windows, because it's they're using IIS server, so they're using Windows. They're running Microsoft IIS service 6.0, and let's look at another one real quick. I'm gonna look at the one at my community college that I attend, that is called Chemeketa. That's how it's pronounced, because it's an Indian word. Chemeketa.edu, and they're running an Apache server. When I attended the school, I actually got to work on their servers, and yeah, they're running that's what they run on their system, Apache. It's actually in a Linux server, and that's that. Let's go ahead and clear the window. And what the next lab is going to be consisting of, it's going to be network sniffing. Let's see, this one. Okay, when I'm actually running it, I'm running it on this machine, and basically I put the put, actually we got, yeah, we gotta put the interface on promiscuous mode, which means is that it's gonna analyze every single packet that comes through it. There it is, and now I simply run the command. You got TCP dump, which is gonna be the program that's gonna analyze all the files. Let's see. And now I'm gonna do things like trying to ping and stuff like that. So I'll try to ping. There's the ping. It's responding, and then I'll try to telnet. I think telnet is shut down, so it's probably not even gonna go through. Yep. And then I'll do FTP, which I think is shut down as well, so it's gonna react the same way basically. It won't even connect, so I'll just close out of it, clear the screen as well. I just like maintaining things clean, and here it is, my attempt to FTP, see what else I find. Yeah, so this is yeah, FTP attempts, and I think this is my ping. Let's see what else. Yeah, my attempt to telnet, again, my attempt to telnet. I believe this is my attempt to ping. So yeah, it gets good like that. So now I can just close out and clear the screen again. And on the next one, my next lab, it's gonna be yeah, lab number 4. It's gonna be more specific network sniffing. Basically, let me see. Basically, this one is gonna be a little more defined than the other one, and in this one I'm actually gonna use backtrack. Let's see, let's put backtrack. I think gotta do the same thing. Put the interface the Ethernet interface in promiscuous mode as well. There it is. And now what I do is there it is. Oops, I almost forgot to do one thing before that. Because I'm gonna try to telnet, and I'm gonna attempt to telnet. So basically, I have to restart the telnet and the FTP services. So what was this one called? Let me see if I remember. Let's see. There it is. So restart it, and also I'm gonna do the FTP. Let's see. FTP D, believe. I thought that's where it was, but I think it actually starts automatically. So I'm gonna give it a try and see what happens. So telnet. So I didn't remember the password, so I was like continuously trying. So there it is. Put it again. And then I tried root as a password. It didn't work. And then I try again. I think after this one is gonna time out on me, I believe. Okay, I left it blank, which obviously is not gonna work. Okay, connection lost, perfect. Now I try FTP. Yeah, put root, and put password, say I didn't know it. So I keep trying continuously basically. So connection failed, bye, clear the screen, and now I'm gonna go to backtrack, and oops, yeah, I forgot to do the dsniff. That's why, okay, now I can do everything again. So, okay, yeah, that was my mistake. So, do the telnet again. 2.168.184.138. Root. Password. So I try root. Pass. Again root. Root as a password. Try root. Try admin. Blank. Connection was lost, and then again, like I said, I do the FTP 192.168.184.138 and admin, password, and of course that's not gonna be it. So close my FTP, clear the screen, come back here, and here it is. He basically sniffed the attempts that this machine was trying on me, even the username and password, and how it didn't work. So now I can just close it down, and let me see if we want to put it back, remove the put it back in remove the promiscuous mode. We just put a minus next to it, and there it is. It's not in promiscuous mode anymore. Now the next one, it's gonna be lab 5. It's gonna be decoding network sniffing. Let's see. To decode network sniffing. Yeah, I remember this one. Let's see. This one's gonna be a little bit different. So ping. I'm gonna ping this one continuously so that it catches it. Let's see what the IP address was. Yeah, 184. And so that it can do it continuously. There it is. And now what I'll do on this one, I'll go ahead and run it. There it is. Oh no, such also directory. Huh. Oh, okay. That's where I made my mistake right here. It's supposed to be. There it is. And now there it is. Now I can finally stop it on the Windows, and then we'll come back and analyze it real quick. Yeah. Clear the screen, and basically it breaks down the packet. It's really neat actually. Layer Ethernet header. It tells me the source of the MAC address, destination MAC address, which is mine. IP header, source IP address, destination IP address, the type, identification, length, layer, which is layer 4 TCP, source, it comes from the port number 2048, and it came through and it responded through 61531, the sequence, the acknowledgement, header size, the flags, and the bytes of packets right here. So yeah, this one's pretty interesting. Let's see the next one. The next one is going to be this is going to be MAC address spoofing via Nemesis. So let's try that one. This one's going to be done here as well. Clear the screen real quick. Okay, so this one is gonna be I'm gonna need the MAC address. My MAC address is gonna be, which is this one right here. I'm gonna need it for that one. I'm gonna need the MAC address of my Windows machine as well. This is ways to just want to copy the other one. I have to type it in. Let's see. This one basically a star nemesis. It's to do an attempt to do a spoofed MAC address. So I'll explain what this one does in a second. We have 130 destination, which is mine. MAC address. Oops. Which is that. Then I have to use the MAC address of the Windows machine. So give me a second. I'm gonna get that one real quick. So give me a sec. Okay, I'm gonna type it now. It's gonna be the one for this one's gonna be the one for my Windows machine. Oops, gotta go back to it. Yeah. So this one. And then here again my MAC address. And again the one for the Windows machine. Alright, so we did it. MAC address. So I'm gonna show you now what it did basically. Basically, this is an attempt to have to make the system think that the IP address of this computer here, this Windows computer, belongs to the attacker, to my backtrack. That's where here says there's an IP conflict with another system on the network, because the MAC address is confused. It's like, what computer do I belong to? And that's what the purpose of that one is. Sort of a hijack, I think. Now the next one, see my last lab. Final lab is going to be a denial service floating. We're going to be floating the SSH port via Symflood. C. That's a file that it's another file that is composed by it's another file program that is created with the C language. And let me run it so I can show. This is what I'm just going to be using this machine. I'm going to be performing an attack on its own, because it's a lot easier. That way I don't have to install SSH on any other machine. So this is how it starts out. So I'll run it real quick. Let me see. Oh no, it's not a 0. It's supposed to be an O. So easy to confuse things in Linux. There it is. No. But basically I'm supposed to have a target machine, which I'm gonna do it on its own. So 1 and 2, the 168, that. Port of 143. but before I start it out, yeah, I'll start right now. Network interface. Oh, okay, I see why. I'm supposed to put it in a promiscuous mode. Okay. Oh yeah, the sudo command. Oops. There it is. And the next one. There it is. It's same floating now. And I'm gonna open another window to do the sniffing. Let's see. So basically, it's gonna be the host. Same host. Basically gonna be capturing him. I don't know if it will by now because it's already did its floating. I don't know if it's still attacking it, but basically it's gonna deny me access to SSH. So to test that, I just do SSH. Yeah, it didn't capture anything because by the time I tried to capture, all the packets had already floated. The SSH service, and basically connection refused because it has been flooded. There's no more openings for it, so therefore it is done. And that's gonna be about it. It's basically my denial service. That's my last lab, and that's all I got. Thank you so much for viewing. And next, I'm gonna create after this one, I'm gonna create a video on a lab that's gonna be meant for other students, and then after that, I'm gonna give the solution to the lab. Like I said, thank you so much for watching, and this has been my presentation for INFA 125 Advanced Network Hacking.